to like midweek of August. Off season goes by quickly. It's whatever. When you get to week 3 of the preseason, it goes by so freaking slow, man.
Oh, I know.
It's to a point where like you're anxious and you're ready to go, and
and then you get a little taste of the game, but it's not really.
I know, like fantasy football's about to happen, then you realize you still have 2 weeks left. It's so bad, and like we're 11 days out, and I'm just gonna be looking at the calendar. Like what's going on? It's taking way too long. And anyways, it blows my mind how quick it is. Anyways. All right. So our little 10-second pause and ready to go. So.
Well, you know what? Oh.
You just messed up 10-second pause. Give 1 sec. All right, we're good. What are you going to say, Scott?
The video is paused.
It is paused.
Well, you got yours working there.
Video's working. Anyways, welcome back, guys. This is Pigskin Dynasty, your podcast for all things Dynasty Fantasy Football with a sprinkle of sports talk. I'm your host that loves a cinnamon toast, broadcasting from coast to coast. Matt Phillips, alongside me, as always, is the Fantasy Leprechaun with his fantasy gold. I'm talking about Scott Euler. I don't know why your live video is interrupted. Anyways.
Keep saying that. It's annoying.
Anyways, what's up, Scott?
What's going on, Matt? You know, you're saying we have, 11 days?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're down to 6 for college football. Even 4 if you want to watch them on Thursday. I don't know what games are being played on Thursday.
What's the big game on Saturday? There's always a big game.
Michigan, Notre Dame.
What does Alabama play? They always play like a big team.
They play Louisville, I think. And then you got Auburn, Washington. That's probably
Michigan, Notre Dame is the most exciting one.
But yeah, Michigan, Notre Dame is a rivalry that we used to play every year. And Notre Dame chickened out of it. They backed out of that rivalry game when they joined the ACC partially. And, well, now they're going to rekindle that little rivalry there.
Let me get you a question. A lot of people like to play this. They like to play college fantasy football.
Yeah, it's becoming a hit thing here.
Now, what do you think about that?
Just grab, the
use like
second FCS.
I know, teams like in the D3s are the ones you want. Anyways, yeah, it's exciting. Football's back, and as I said on the pre-show, that it seems like these 2 weeks that are coming up are like the longest 2 weeks of your life. But the 6 months before that flies. So it's really exciting. We got a lot of things to talk about, though, so let's kind of just go into it. But, people, we're bringing back What The. What The is going to be our new weekly segment that we're going to talk about to open up the show. I liked it a lot. It's something that I think is really fun to do. And we're also going to do fantasy debates, because Scott and I usually disagree on something once during the episode, so might just do like a cut fantasy debate and just go on from there. But we're going to open up every show from now on with the What The before we talk about anything fantasy football. I still don't know why you like videos like that.
This is really annoying.
Anyways.
It's aggravating me.
Scott, I'll let you hit it off with the What The first. So just so everyone knows, What The is when Scott and I, over the course of the week, we read stuff, we watch things that just instantly make us say What The, and just like, why are you doing that? So that's kind of the basis of What The, kind of our version of Come On Man. So, Scott, why don't you lead it off, please?
Well, as we know, we have these shows. We have Hard Knocks. We have now Amazon Prime's All or Nothing. And if you go back and watch last year's All or Nothing, it really showed Des Bryant in an unfavorable light, and that's probably hindering him in his chances of getting a job currently. Well, now we're watching Hard Knocks with the Cleveland Browns, and I believe Hugh Jackson is being shown in a very unfavorable light. And it's all Hugh Jackson's doing, between coaches' meetings, the way he interacts and treats the players. And then now we got this Thursday, Tyrod Taylor dislocated his pinky on his non-throwing hand, left the game. But then after he's injured and he was out for 2 drives, we're going to put him back in the game for because this is preseason and we need to have Tyrod in this game. This is very important for us to have Tyrod in this game. What are you doing, Hugh Jackson? Why would you put your starting quarterback? You've already came out and said Tyrod's your starting quarterback. You're not playing Baker Mayfield. But we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put him back in the game after he's been injured. What the?
I think it's pronounced T-Rod now.
It's Tyrod.
T-Rod.
It's Tyrod.
Remember that substitute video, A-Ron? Jaquelin. What are you doing, Jaquelin?
Well, you know
It's
what?
T-Rod.
Tyrod, or T-Mobile, as they like to call him, has been called Tyrod in my book for a decade since he was at Virginia Tech. So
he doesn't even care.
He doesn't get Tyrod anymore.
He's like, dude, I don't want to talk about it. Just call me Tyrod. But anyways, whatever. My what
Hey, wait. I actually did what the right. I believe that's the first time I've done what the right.
Yeah, you actually
with
said what
the at the end.
You said what the at the very end. Maybe do a little bit more enthusiasm, but good job. Mine, ironically, is about the Browns as well. Okay? Not about the coaching. My what the is going to start with the former Cowboy, Dez Bryant. Okay, so
It would have been good if you had his middle name, where you were like
I know.
Desmond
Whatever.
Christopher Bryant, which
Yeah.
you know that's not his middle name.
no, it's whatever. But anyway, let's talk about Dez Bryant. Okay, so Dez Bryant gets released by the Cowboys, 90 days ago. He's looking for a team. He's getting signed. He has the off-field issues. He does the bashing of the Sean Lee and Jason Garrett on social media. And anyways, closer to the season, the team's not signing him, right? So amongst the Josh Gordon not being on the team right now because of health reasons, the Cleveland Browns entertained the idea of signing Dez Bryant to a point where what is his middle name?
Demond Bryant.
Desmond
Demond Bryant.
Desmond Dion Bryant. Yeah, whatever.
Demond. It's Desmond without the S. Yeah, they spelled it with the S. It's Desmond without the S is his middle name. Desmond Demond Bryant.
Okay. Anyways, so a report came out this week that the Browns offered him a $5 million contract for 1 year, which is what he wanted, a 1 year contract to try to prove himself. And this man right here turned it down. He wanted to look for a better offer.
Hey, I didn't turn it down. This man right here didn't turn it down.
Damon turned it down. Damon turned it down. Just 2 weeks left in the preseason. No team's going to sign you at this point, and you're going to turn down the one team that offered you a contract for the reason because you want to look for a better offer. You got to be, I'm doing my Stephen A. You got to be out of your damn mind to think that an NFL team's going to sign you at this point. Dez. So I'm going to look at you and say, Dez, Damon, Bryant, what are you doing? That's insane. It blows my mind to think that you will have a team that will sign you 11 days out of the regular season. You're not going to play this year. I recommend you work on your route running and conditioning and try to come back next year. But as Scott said last week, I think you're done if you don't sign on the team this year. So, anyways, that's what the... Scott, what do you think about that? What do you think about the whole Dez thing?
Well, did you watch Hard Knocks? Have you been watching
I
Hard
have
Knocks?
not watched Hard Knocks. I'm going to watch it this week because Josh Gordon's coming back.
On the episode, he was talking about how much, he really liked Cleveland. He liked the feel. He liked, a lot of things about Cleveland, and he liked Hugh Jackson, and he just wants to be real, and he wants realness. And he was talking it up and really liking it there. So it'd be surprising to me if he would have turned down a contract,
$5 million contract.
Just watching Hard Knocks. But
$5 million contract. That's $5 million. I mean, come on.
And that's your prove-it deal. I mean, you're probably not going to get better than that at this point.
So if you wanted a 1 year prove-it deal and try to cash in next week, get that, sign the contract. But for fantasy purposes, I'm glad he's on that team. I don't like him on that team anyway. So, but Dez, whatever, man. I hope you find a team. Prove us wrong, and I'll come back on this show and say I'm sorry. But anyways. Let's talk about the NFL news. We had a lot of football yesterday. We had a lot of football Friday. A lot of big things. Let's talk about the one that's close to home for us because we live in the 904 Duval. I was at the game. I saw it live, and it looked gnarly, man. It looked horrible, to a point where in the crisp HD screen, I practically saw the tendon tear, pretty much. I'm talking about Marquise Lee, the former USC Trojan, who was kind of heating up last season, finally coming with a full healthy preseason and offseason. This man, his knee turned in an angle that I didn't think was physically possible. It has not come out yet, but it absolutely looks like a torn ACL, possibly MCL. He's definitely done for the year. Scott, what do you think? What's your thoughts on it?
So, first of all, I mean, Marquise Lee was almost the receiver to own in this receiver core. Is the one guy that you were like, all right, I have an idea. We're pretty sure what he's going to do for this season. And I'm with you. Watching that injury, I'd be surprised if he was able to come back from that. I believe, like you said, torn ACL, possible MCL, maybe LCL, PCL, all the other CLs that are in there. He's likely done.
Yeah, I was talking to numerous Jags fans, and they won't bring the card out if it wasn't serious, especially if it was something minor. The moment I saw that card come on the field, I was like, okay, I knew it's something bad, because they usually don't bring the card out unless it's absolutely horrible. And I saw that replay. I just saw the replay before the show, and I almost puked, guys. I puked almost. It was bad. It was almost as bad as that Louisville.
I'll say we need to. Oh, the Louisville basketball player.
Yeah, Louisville basketball player, man. When I saw that, even almost like Paul George too. When those injuries, man, that's insane. But it's such a tough luck for USC. Not for USC, but for Marquise. Like, I want USC to get on the map in pro football. We finally got Juju Smith-Schuster. We got Robert Woods out of LA.
All your USC receivers hit, because you had Nelson Aguilar hit last year and Marquise Lee.
So I was like, okay, Marquise Lee, let's do this. And boom, it has happened. So I hope you have a speedy recovery. I hope it's not career-ending, because it definitely looks like a type of injury that could be career-ending, the way his leg snaps and all those tendons in there. So
people nowadays, modern medicine, they usually come back. I mean, Nick Chubb.
Look at Adrian
even Ty Gurley. I mean, they had a bunch of nasty knee injuries. So
look at Adrian Peterson when he came back. It's just insane. But
right. So now I think the biggest question in fantasy, it turns to, all right, so Marquise Lee is gone. Who is now the beneficiary of the passing game for the Jaguars?
Well, I was at the game, and Moncrief wasn't doing anything. He finally had that one catch. He hasn't done anything this preseason, right? So honestly, I was looking at it, and I think the receiver you want to own, in my opinion, is Keenan Cole. I think Keenan Cole is by far the most, I guess, appealing fantasy wide receiver to own. But then again, looking at Bortles, that offense with a run, Bortles is not really stretching the ball as much. They're doing a lot more screens to the backs. They're doing a lot more slants.
Well, they got 3 running backs that they can throw the ball to.
Corey Grant, I'm telling you right now, Corey Grant, late round flyer, bye week fill-in, PPR specialist, I think. Get yourself some Corey Grant, and instead of getting that kicker as we talked about last week, get yourself Corey Grant, because they're using Corey Grant similar to Darren Sproles-ish. It's pretty good. He's looking really good.
This is the only game I haven't watched, so I'm going to lean on Matt with this one. However, I've liked the way T.J. Yeldon's looked, and I feel like T.J. Yeldon could be a little bit more of the in-between, where he could do the pass-catching stuff. Not quite to the level of Corey Grant, but he can do it. And he can do the between-the-tackle stuff. Also, not quite to the level as Fournette, but he could be that. And he's also, I believe, he'd be the big bell cow back if Fournette would go down. But I agree, Corey Grant, he's electric. Every time he's got the ball in the stand, he usually does something. Yeah, so they need to find more ways to get him
watching the game yesterday, I was at the game, guys, by the way, section 415, which is actually surprisingly a good section. I'm actually, that's David.
With those video boards that they have here in Jacksonville, there's not a bad seat anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, but they were doing a lot of design plays for Corey Grant, which is what I like. What reason why I will draft him late in drafts is because they had about 5 to 10 plays purposely designed for Corey Grant. It was screens or these light toss plays, and then he runs and gets out around the edge. So that's why I'm really like him a lot too. Also, another person just to keep in mind, D.J. Westbrook was looking pretty good too. So I mean, Keenan Cole to me number 1, D.J. Westbrook number 2, and after that, DJ Chark with Marquise Lee being out, he might have more time to be on the field. I mean,
more opportunity.
We talked about this before he got drafted. Usually receivers take a little bit to develop. They usually don't go out.
Especially late round receivers. Later, after first round.
They usually don't come out. So the fact that this injury might give him a chance to solidify himself as a wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 2.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I thought Keelan Cole, all the buzz coming out of the Jaguars camp, we're close by. We hear a lot of it. Most of it has been Keelan Cole looks like the best receiver at camp, and that's even with Marquise Lee being there. So he was already getting hyped up. Now that he just opened the door for more opportunity with Marquise Lee going down. I do think they're going to try to use Moncrief just because they spent so much money on Moncrief.
Oh, yeah.
They're invested in him. So they're going to want to try to use him and try to get him, working and get him developed and get him targets. He has been injured a lot of this camp, so he probably doesn't have that rapport with Blake Bortles as of yet. However, I do think Keelan Cole is the main beneficiary, and I think D.D. Westbrook is probably the number 2, but he'll kick down to the slot and let Moncrief play on the outside when they go 3 wide. But I do think when they do 2 tight end sets and put 2 receivers on the field, it's going to be D.D. Westbrook at number 2.
One thing about Moncrief, though, when he had that ball and that slant he ran, he looks good running an open field. I like that a lot, but he did not have a good offseason.
He's a tantalizing physical prospect. He's 6'2", he runs a 4.4 40, he's 200 and almost 20 pounds. He's big, fast. He just looks the part, looks like a Des Bryant, but one of them looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane type of guys, though.
Well, hasn't had a good offseason, so let's put it that way.
He's built like that, and he still went in the 4th round of the NFL draft. There's reasons for that.
Yes. Anyway, so Marquise Lee, I hope you are cool if you listen to this show.
Marquise Lee, if you listen to the show, you got enough money. Fix your teeth, dude. You have enough money. This should not be an issue for you. I don't get it. Fix your teeth. Fix them.
I'm sorry. That's by his name is Scott Euler. He lives somewhere in Dismal if you wanted to go beat him up. Anyways, let's talk about the other big news. Let's talk about Washington Redskins, right? Adrian Peterson.
Yep. All day. AP all day.
AP all day. And yeah, actually looked pretty good. 12 carries for 50-something yards, something like that.
Yeah, and that was against Denver's defense, and as we know, Denver has one of the best defense. Look what they did to Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys last year. So they can stuff the run. This is preseason, so I'm sure they're not going all out, but any opportunity they have to tackle Adrian Peterson and stop Adrian Peterson, I'm sure those guys, especially the young guys, are going to want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So Adrian Peterson, he looked good. He looked physical and tough run between the tackles. He looked like he had enough explosiveness and juice on the outside to make something happen. This might be it. Might be one of them Frank Gore type-ish years, where just out of pure volume and necessity for the team, where he's going to get 1,000 yards, and I'm sure he'll have touchdowns, and he'll have his moments, kind of how he had with Arizona last year, where he looks like old Adrian Peterson. I still think Chris Thompson is the back to own there in Washington, especially PPR leagues.
But he's probably not going to be playing until November, guys. So just keep that in mind. If in redraft leagues, Chris Thompson is probably not going to be healthy until November. So you have those 8 weeks.
Yep. So, but I think this is Adrian Peterson's backfield now. As long as he's there, it's going to be his backfield.
Yeah, I agree. That backfield's probably him, but that backfield is just nasty. It's just it's all those.
Rob Kelly, Samaje Perine, those are very unsexy names. Yeah. But Adrian Peterson, that's a name. And honestly, if you just wanted to flip him for something else, he's got the name cachet. He's got the allure. Adrian Peterson. Everybody remembers. I'm sure many people won fantasy championships. I know we both won fantasy championships on the back of Adrian Peterson. So if he's able to come out and have a handful of good games early in the season, I'm sure he could flip.
I remember I got Adrian Peterson in the 4th round when he came out of that injury, and everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are insane." So I get this. My team was probably the best, and there was a redraft league. Had LaShawn McCoy when he was busting out in Philadelphia.
Chip Kelly,
LaShawn LaShawn McCoy, and then I got Adrian Peterson in the 4th round. Because a lot of people didn't know, and he has his record-breaking season that year.
Yeah, the worst part is, I lost him in a fantasy championship that year. I had 2 4th-round picks. I made trades, and Adrian Peterson was there for both of them. I took Jamal Charles, which was the correct choice, and then I picked Ryan Matthews instead of Adrian Peterson. That was so bad.
Ryan Matthews was good in the Chargers, though.
Not Adrian Peterson good, ever.
Well, in his defense, I don't think anyone predicted Adrian Peterson would do that.
Because he tore it in week 17?
Yeah, and then he came back, and then he played week 1 and did nothing. So I was like, uh-oh. Then he finally started heating up. But that was a good year. Brings back some good memories. Well, that's 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, 2012.
Anyways, Adrian Peterson's back to own the Washington Redskins. Speaking of Washington Redskins, Alex Smith looked pretty good. I mean, he's looking pretty solid.
No, Alex Smith's going to be a solid quarterback. Alex Smith is who he is at this point. He's one of them, like, he's not going to win you very many games, but he ain't going to lose you any games.
Yes. And speaking of just his weapons, Jordan Reed is finally healthy, but he hasn't played, which worries me as a Jordan Reed owner.
Hey, if I'm the Redskins, I'm not playing Jordan Reed. We're just going to hold him out till week 1.
Yeah. I mean, he's injury prone to begin with, but other than that, like, look, Jamison Crowder's the only guy I really like on that team.
Paul Richardson, too.
I mean, yeah.
He's been making plays. He's been getting catches. I just watched the game. It seemed like he was Alex Smith's almost favorite target. Josh Doxson's getting nothing. I don't think there's enough work for Josh Doxson. Unless he gets an injury, I don't think there's much work for Josh Doxson to really do much for the season in this offense.
I really think so.
Definitely, I'd be fading him. I'm not drafting Josh Doxson in redraft and Dynasty. I'd almost move on if you're able to get something you like. I'm
pretty confident that's going to be Jamison Crowder, Jordan Reed, who's on the field, because one needs a tight end, and Alex Smith loves his tight ends. You saw what he did with Travis Kelce.
Paul Richardson's going to make some plays now.
I'm not saying.
I like Jamison Crowder. I'm with you. I think Jamison Crowder is probably the receiver to own, but I think Paul is much closer 1A, 1B than it is Crowder 1 and Richardson 2 or 3 behind Reed.
All right. Well. That being said, let's go on to the next topic. Let's talk about the Cowboys. I just want to talk about the Cowboys really quick.
A lot of things. Cowboys fan wants to talk about the Cowboys.
I know, shocker. Wow. Right? But it's probably not to talk about for all the Zeke owners out there, okay? The Cowboys' offensive line is getting in shambles, people. I don't know if you guys follow this, but Travis Frederick, the All-Pro center, the captain of that offensive line, he's one that does all the audibles. Dak Prescott doesn't do the audibles. He does all the audibles on that offensive line. He has been diagnosed with a rare autoimmune nerve disease.
What's the name of that disease, Matt?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up right now. It's some weird name. I'm going to look it up right now.
I just want to hear it pronounce it because I can't even. The one thing I will say, Mark Schlereth had this disease back in '93 when he was with the Redskins. So he's reached out to Travis Frederick.
Guillain-Barré syndrome.
I don't think that's how it's pronounced, but...
Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Okay.
Anyways, I did not know Mark Schlereth had it, by the way. Thanks for letting me know. But anyways, I'm looking up at this disease that attacks like your nerves, and they say could be 2 weeks, could be a month, it could be very well be career-ending. It just doesn't know. So
different for everybody.
You got to predict that he's not going to play week 1, maybe all of September. Let's just say that, and that is detrimental to that offensive line. We saw how offensive line looked when Tyron Smith was out, and it looked like crap. 6 sacks against Atlanta Falcons. I remember that. They couldn't do anything with running the ball. So this worries me as a Zeke owner who's supposed to get 400-plus touches this year and get a lot more catches. This worries me a lot.
Well, not only is Travis Frederick out, but Zach Martin, your guard, he got injured to his ankle or knee.
It was his knee, but it hasn't been released yet. But when I first saw it, I thought it was ACL the moment I saw it. I was like, the way he fell was ACL-type fell. And 2 of our starting 5 offensive linemen are out.
And Tyron Smith, the one who's in, the 3 stars, is the most injury-prone of them all.
Yeah, he's also the best one, too. He protects Prescott's blind side. But this worries me, guys. This worries me as a Cowboys fan. This worries me as a Zeke owner. I'm not a Zeke owner, but for all the Zeke owner, this worries me because what makes that team so great? Zeke is a tremendous athlete for sure, but that offensive line makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. So keep that in mind.
That offensive line is what makes that offense go.
I hope Travis Frederick comes back healthy. I hope everything's good, but just keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah. One of the doctors out there said it's more likely that Travis Frederick misses the entire season than it is that he plays week 1. So what actually happens probably somewhere in between there. I'm predicting, like you said, he'll probably miss all September, maybe into October, but I expect him back sometime in October.
On the good news is that it's curable. It's treatable. Yeah. It's curable.
And they found it early.
And it's not like one of those diseases that can kill them.
It's not. Yeah, and this is like we said, Mark Schlereth had this syndrome, this diagnosis in the 1993 season with the Redskins, and he was able to play, throughout his career into the 2000s. I don't know what year he retired, but he was able to play, throughout the 90s.
Maybe that's the reason why he lost so much weight.
No, all offensive linemen lose weight when they retire.
Look at Joe Thomas.
Running backs get fat. Offensive linemen lose weight.
Look at Joe Thomas. Look at Joe Thomas. Let's beautiful tie into the next topic I want to talk about. Rashad Penny. Talk about Rashad Penny.
Oh my gosh, 16 pounds.
16
pounds since what, the draft?
My God, that fat
Or
ass.
the combine?
P90,
like, that's not good.
P90X.
Especially for running backs.
Eddie Lacy wannabe. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's a 132.
Exactly.
What the?
To me, for now, I'm fading Rashad Penny for all 2018. In redraft, I'm not going to pass him.
Oh.
It's too expensive to get him where you have to draft
with
him.
Chris Carson
Plus,
already.
like you say, Chris Carson's the starter, and he looks really good in the preseason.
Just gives you an idea of how big this is, right?
And then hope Rashad Penny cuts weight.
Yeah.
You know, loses weight in the offseason.
At
like
the combine, he measured at 6'2", 220. Ideal fantasy football running back measurements. That's what you want. This guy goes from 220 to about 240, and that's literally insane.
Well, I'm guessing the Seahawks wanted him to put that weight on.
I don't know.
I don't know what the purpose of to put him the weight on. But now we know why Eddie Lacy didn't succeed there.
I don't know if this is true, but here's what I think. I think he dehydrated himself the day he measured himself to get more draft stock to him. I think he's normally around 230, I think he dehydrated himself and used all the water weight like the UFC fighters do on fight day.
Everybody's playing with their weights like freaking Christian McCaffrey was trying to gain weight going into the...
Which is fine because he was like 205, so if he gets up to 210... You know, it's not like that big of a deal to where he's going to lose a lot of his speed. But when you go from 220, when you run like 236, that's a lot of weight. A lot of weight. And you're going to lose some speed with that, for sure.
Yeah, and
that's not fat. I think that's fat, too. I don't think it's muscle. I think that's fat. I think it's fat.
I'm sure it's a combination of both. It's either way, being Rashad Penny, being 236 pounds, it's not a good thing. He's going to be a little sluggish now. I expect in the offseason that we're going to hear stories of Rashad Penny cutting weight. You know, Rashad Penny down to 225. And then I think in 2019 he'll probably go and explode and be that first-round running back the Seahawks thought he'd be. But 236 pounds for a running back, typically, you're limited with your upside, especially in fantasy, being that big. You're not going to be as explosive on the outside. So... expect him to cut weight, and for 2018, I'd fade him and move somewhere else.
I think the moment he broke his finger, and the moment Chris Carson was doing what he's doing in the preseason, Penny's draft stock was going down. But most people in dynasty leagues were drafting him top 4, probably top 3, maybe behind guys. So obviously you're not going to get rid of him. Hold on to him, see what he does. My rule with rookies in general, of all rookies. Hold on for at least a year, maybe 2, to see what they do. Especially the first round picks. Obviously, your late round picks, you can get rid of them if you want. But really, first, second round picks, give them time to develop, see what the offense does or the team does with them before you decide to either get rid of them or try to trade them away. That's just unless you have a running back that blows out and you can actually get tremendous value for him, kind of like what Scott did with Kareem Hunt. He broke out. And they got a first-round pick out of it.
Yeah, so 4 first-round picks and Lamar Miller. Well,
2020. Because 2 of them were 2020s. But it was ridiculous. It blows my mind that someone actually did that. I think that was the overspend, Matt Johnson. Anyways, aside this point, let's go back to the Colts. Let's talk about the Colts. Okay. Andrew Luck finally threw a deep ball, guys. He finally threw a deep ball, and he actually had a pretty good game yesterday.
Yeah, 8 of 10, threw a touchdown to Eric Ebron. Yeah. Eric Ebron had 5 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Jack Doyle was in the game early, but then when Ebron did his work, he wasn't in the game, so I questioned if there was an injury, maybe something minor to Jack Doyle, and they decided to hold him out. Because if you watch the Colts games previously, Eric Ebron was not out there with Andrew Luck. And he was getting some significant run with the ones. Looked really good doing it. He caught everything that came his way. That's been the knock on Eric Ebron, is he doesn't catch everything. But he looked good. He looked like he could really be a good tight end in that offense. So I'm interested to see if there's any news coming out on Jack Doyle here as to why he wasn't on the field.
I want to be surprised if the Colts adopt the Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski type.
Well, they kind of had it previously with Dwayne Allen and what's the guy that was at Stanford with?
It's Coby Fleener.
Coby Fleener, man. That's a name.
Yeah.
But they kind of had that two tight end thing, not to the same level as Aaron Hernandez and Gronk, but they had it with those two before they ultimately moved on from both of them, and neither of them did anything anywhere else. So Andrew Luck actually made them look pretty good.
And?
But I expect something similar to that, where it's just kind of an annoying pain in the butt thing with tight end.
Well, Eric Ebron looked good, and I always hated Eric Ebron. Thought, well, he was a 14th pick of that, 2010?
10th pick. He went 10th to the Lions. Odell Beckham went 14th to the Giants.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham, there was a story that came out that Odell Beckham thought for sure he was going 10th to the Lions when they were on the clock, and they went for Eric Ebron. But I'm from Michigan. I got a lot of friends up there. I texted that to my buddy, and I was like, you could have had Odell, right? Odell really thought he was going to be a Lion. He's like, why did you do this to me?
Every year I do that with the Cowboys. We could have had Adrian Peterson.
We could have had Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, I could have had Jalen Ramsey. I could have had Miles Jack. I pretty much could have had the whole Jaguars defense probably by this point. But
Miles Jack wasn't down.
You did. MJWD.
Shout out FOTP.
MJWD. By the way, that beer's pretty good. They made a beer. I think it's Intuition makes it.
Miles Jack wasn't down beard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. Anyways, let's talk about the other Colts news, baby.
There you go.
Yeah.
Praise it all. This is all Matt.
Jordan Wilkins was the starter week 3, almost to me solidifying the fact that he'll be the starter week 1.
I don't believe so. I'm still skeptical. The one thing that happened in the game, which is why I don't think this is going to happen for you, week 1 NFL starter, Jordan Wilkins is still playing in the fourth quarter.
Well, as you said,
if you're having somebody start at week 1 of the regular season, you're not playing them into the fourth quarter.
As you said, there was a lot of running backs injured. They had no running backs to really to play. But the fact that a 5th-round rookie, who was a second running back drafted on that team, behind Nyheim Hines, comes out and he's done what he's done in the offseason, having tremendous praise from the coaching staff to get the week 3, which is the most important, probably, preseason game, and become the starter. And the fact that I predicted it from the very beginning, guys, I said, this guy is going to be the real deal. You can draft him late in Dynasty's rookie drafts. You can draft him late round flyers. His ADP is going up. It's going to keep going up throughout the week. So if you already drafted and you got him late round, good for you. If not, you might have to spend an earlier draft pick to get him. But Jordan Wilkins is going to be the real deal, guys. I said it before. He has everything you want in a fantasy running back. He's big. He's fast. He catches the ball. He's willing to block, too. Everything I think you want from a football team and a fantasy running back. And the fact that I called it before Scott did, icing on the cake, baby. Icing on the cake.
You still got to do the right thing with it. At this point, he's probably going second round of these drafts, so if you could flip him for a second round pick, I'm out. And I don't think he's going to be the week 1 starter.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think Marlon Mack will be healthy, and Marlon Mack's your week 1 starter.
I don't think so. I think his hamstring's done. But obviously, he needs some help, too, because Kareem Hunt wasn't going to be the starter. If he wasn't going to be the starter until Spencer Ware got injured. So, obviously, Jordan Wilkins had got some luck. Marlon Mack got injured. Nyheim Hines was fumbling the ball. Christine Michaels. So, he's had... But everything, just looking at the talent perspectives there for him, and the fact that you can get him pretty late in drafts. I'm totally loving it. Totally loving it. All right, we're from the Colts. Let's go back to the Browns. Okay, just a small news. Josh Gordon's been officially activated. He's cleared for all football activities. Does have some hamstring tightness, though, guys. Not like a pull, just some tightness in his hamstring when he was conditioning. He's ready to go, though. It looks like he's trying to get to week 1. I don't think he's going to play preseason week 4. I think for sure he's going to probably be there for the week 1 against the Steelers. So I think it's all system goes for Josh Gordon. If you can get him for like wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, I think he has really high upside. Especially watching the Browns preseason game. They're in dire need of a red zone threat, big guy, because they were trying to get Jarvis Landry. They threw the ball to Jarvis Landry 4 times in the red zone, and Jarvis Landry could not get open on those pick plays. So I think they definitely need a big body receiver, which I think will be Josh Gordon. I think he'll get a lot more touchdowns than Landry does. He may not get as many catches as Landry, but the touchdown upside's there for me, in my opinion.
I got some news for you on Josh Gordon. I was doing some mock drafts yesterday, and I took Josh Gordon in a mock draft.
You actually took Josh Gordon?
I took Josh Gordon. This is the 6th round.
You took him in the 6th round?
Yep. I went my first 3 picks were running backs. I went Kamara, Gordon, and Christian McCaffrey.
What did you pick? What pick position were you at?
6.
6. You got running back.
Yep, I went Kamara.
That's very. A lot of people don't do that.
So I did 2 mock drafts yesterday. The first one, it was receiver. I went Antonio Brown, Julio.
Okay.
And then Kelsey in the 3rd round.
Was this full PPR?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second one I did I just trying to follow the board, let it fall, trying out different things. I took Kamara. Antonio Brown was gone, so I took Kamara. And then I got Gordon, Christian McCaffrey, and then Baldwin in the 4th. And then A-Rob in the 5th.
You got Doug Baldwin in the 4th. Dude, that's a steal to me, dude.
And then I took Gordon in the 6th round. I thought you would like to hear that.
I'm actually shocked.
There is a world that exists where I would take Josh Gordon.
Because Scott was, oh man, that's just surprising.
I don't like Josh Gordon. I think he's overvalued. I think he's highly overvalued. But if he's going to fall, if everybody else that I'm drafting with has the same position as I do, and he starts falling, okay, I'll grab him. I recognize there is upside.
This makes me to a point where guys know the players before you draft, because the audacity of Doug Baldwin going to the 4th round just completely.
That's all because of his injury. His
injury, but
playing in the preseason.
He said he's going to be ready for week 1. Everyone's saying he's ready in week 1. But getting Doug Baldwin in the 4th round is, to me, slam dunk steal. This guy's still in line for 100 catches if he's healthy. I don't think Brandon Moss is going to be there, but he's not going to be like the fantasy route. He's going to be red zone target probably. He's going to be able to get some coverage on him. But I think Doug Baldwin is the guy, and I have him. And I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to be top 10 fantasy wide receiver this year.
I find it hard to believe that Josh Gordon can be top 20. Baldwin is the... Okay, Josh said Baldwin in the 3rd is a steal. Josh, I got him in the 4th. So, boom.
I didn't say Josh Gordon was going to be a top 10. I said Doug Baldwin.
Oh, Doug Baldwin?
I said Doug Baldwin. I didn't say Josh Gordon. I said Doug Baldwin.
Doug Baldwin, yeah, okay. My bad.
I said Josh Gordon has wide receiver 4 with high upside, wide receiver 3 with high upside.
Yeah, Doug Baldwin absolutely could be top 10. So, I'm with you on that. No disagreements there. Mm-hmm. We can agree on something for a change.
No. I agree with Scott, too. With this one, Josh Gordon, guys, I said this before. Look, to me, is he overvalued? Yes. I mean, dude, and I'm the one that kept him for 3 years on my dynasty season. I purposely, talk about dedication to me, guys. Like, he gets suspended again. I'm like, there we go. There goes my hope. He teases me more than, my girlfriend does. It's insane. It's ridiculous. But
your girlfriend teases you?
Sometimes. Like food and stuff, and try to get me in trouble with the mom. You know the mom listens to the show, don't you? Anyways.
Hey, I'll try it.
So, I understand. He being in, he's in the top 50 of the overall fantasy board. To me, it's a stretch. It's a stretch. Look, I want to see something on tape, but as I said, he's my wide receiver 4. I got Hopkins, Allen, Doug Baldwin, and I got Josh Gordon. I'm taking the risk on Josh Gordon. If he doesn't work, then I'll bench him and see until he blows up, if he blows up. But do not draft him as your wide receiver 1. Obviously, I think that's a really... With Josh Gordon, you're doing a risk versus reward type thing. Are you willing to take the risk, like when you do LeSean McCoy? To me, I'm a risk taker. I see Josh Gordon. I've been following him. I think he's going to do good. But he may bust. He may get suspended again. You don't know.
So Josh asked us a question. He goes, if we're drafting at 9, Melvin Gordon and DeAndre Hopkins fall to us, who's our guy?
Hopkins, for sure.
Hopkins? Well, Melvin I actually Gordon. Had this scenario in that draft I did a couple weeks ago, and we took Hopkins. And then we came back in the 2nd round. Gordon was gone, and it was between Kareem Hunt and Michael Thomas. We took Michael Thomas, doubled up, with those elite receivers, and then just filled in with them late round running backs.
To me, reaching for Melvin Gordon in the 9th, just because Austin Eckler's still there, to me is
Eckler looked so good yesterday. He's going to be a thorn in the side of all Melvin Gordon owners.
Melvin Gordon's draft stock goes to me down in the 2nd round. I would definitely not reach for him in the 1st round, especially if this is a 12-team league too. Don't absolutely go for a best available player, which would be a wide receiver, and go for Hopkins. To me, I think Hopkins is going to have a great season. I think he might dethrone...
Yeah, especially if Watson stays healthy the whole year.
I think he might dethrone Antonio Brown as top fantasy receiver this year. I think he's going to be... He might... I know that's a bold prediction because Antonio Brown is Antonio Brown, But I think...
But Juju Smith, I mean, his emergence is coming out. Ben keeps throwing it to him a lot. You just tell the story. Juju could take it enough away from Antonio Brown that Hopkins could overtake him if Hopkins is still seeing the same targets as he's been seeing. And I have no reason to suspect that that's going to come down any.
So, I mean, yeah, if you get Hopkins in the 9th, I'm actually surprised he's not taking down like the 7th, 6th. Because like between like the pick 5 and like pick 7, okay, there's some running backs on the board there, but I wouldn't be against picking like Hopkins or Antonio Brown between the 5, 6, 7 spot. To me, Hopkins and Brown are 6 people that I'm not against picking in the top 4. You got those 7 running backs, 6 running backs. They got them. So
more or less is how you want to build your team. If you want to start with the receiver and draft running backs later, or start it with a running back and draft receivers later. I prefer to go to running back if I can get one of the elite guys. If not, then give me one of the elite receivers.
So who's AJ Green? Okay, so you got
Keenan Allen, Julio Jones, AJ Green, or Baldwin.
So am I ranking this?
Who are you
on my top 4, like 1 through 4 in terms of?
I think he just wants you to pick it, but let's pick who you would take and then go ahead and rank them. So who's your number 1? Who's your number 1 out of those 4? Who you're taking? Go ahead, tell us Keenan Allen.
I really want to pick Keenan Allen, but I'm not. PBR, if it's PBR, Keenan Allen's a stud, but I'm gonna go with Julio just because of there's just yes, his touchdowns aren't there, but I think that's going to go up. I think they're going to try to find a way to get Julio the ball. If you look at this, the pure catches numbers, yes, Keenan Allen has more catches, but it's really not as like a blown out statistic as people would think.
And Julio's almost a lock for 6 to 7 catches and 100 yards almost every
game.
And then it's just like, what can he do on top of that? Because he usually always gets that.
And then he has that. I'm not saying Keenan Allen will get 6, 7 catches.
There's not really a wrong answer here.
Yeah, but I will go Julio, I will go Keenan Allen, AJ Green, Baldwin. That's me.
Exactly the same.
And I am high on Baldwin. And
yes, Josh Evans should be included in that list. And I would have Evans probably 3. Julio, Keenan.
Well, you saw that hit Evans took, right?
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine?
Yeah, I saw it. See, that's what you're supposed to do. Your star player takes a hit, he goes down, he had the wind knocked out of him, he's fine. Hold him out the rest of the game. Why are we going to put him back out there and risk him further injury? That's not going to happen. Hugh Jackson, learn. And I don't think Dirk Cutter's particularly a good coach, but at least he has enough common sense to go, that's my star guy. I'm relying on him heavy this year. Let's just reel him back in. No need to get him hurt in preseason. We know what he can do. And, live to fight a battle another day. Like, that's what you're supposed to do with these guys in the preseason.
Speaking of which.
What the?
Speaking of which, Cam Newton, right?
What the?
So Cam Newton dives, lands on his head, right? Look bad.
Yeah, Ron Rivera. We can throw the what the at you too. Because Cam Newton, we're going to put him through concussion protocol. This is the opening drive. He dives, lands on his head completely awkwardly. You guys seen Cam Newton do this hundreds of times before. He's getting older. He can't be doing this all the time, especially in preseason. But they pull him out. They go through concussion protocol in the same drive.
He goes back in.
And I'm just
whatever.
We haven't seen enough from Cam Newton to know that, we don't really need to get him these reps in the preseason if he's going to be out here diving on his head every other play. Jesus.
Hold on, thought. Yes, Josh, I just want to put that. I think Zeke's still elite. Zeke's going to be a stud, I think, but I do think it's going to be a lot harder for him to do his get his fantasy numbers.
Instead of 1,800 yards, he has 1,650.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, speaking of the Panthers, I want to apologize to Christian McCaffrey, and I think I want to apologize to you because I think you were very...
No, I was very against Christian McCaffrey, so I'm going to join you in this apology.
I'm
holy
sorry.
cow,
I know.
You look like a freaking beast.
I know.
Praise all right running backs everywhere.
Giving
this is
hope.
Amazing.
Giving us hope. Give us hope. We had Toby Gerhardt, but now we have you, okay? Thank you, Christian McCaffrey. Even though you're from Stanford, and I don't like your college.
I love your college.
Okay.
LA represent. John Lynch represent.
Are going to kill it.
Andrew Luck represent.
You're going to win people's fantasy leagues. People are going to tweet at you and ask, where can I donate my money?
Dude,
you're going to win fantasy leagues.
At this point, he's getting so much work in the preseason, so we're going to guess that he's going to get so much work in the regular. He got 18 touches in the first half. Like, he's going to be putting up work. And I just wonder, because he's a smaller back,
can he hold
he's more of a slight guy, can he sustain and go through and withstand the injuries that are ultimately going to happen during the season? That's the only question I have with McCaffrey now. He looks good between tackles. They throw it to him a ton. He's almost a wide receiver 1 and the running back 1 on this offense. It's insane the amount of work he's getting. I'm salivating at the mouth just thinking at the thought of what Christian McCaffrey can do this year. He's going typically in like early third, late second. He's a good pick at the second round. If he's getting the workload that he's getting in the preseason, which I expect that to continue, there's just going to be a ton of opportunity for him to produce, and he's a home run hitter. So, Christian McCaffrey, like you said, I apologize for being so down on you, putting on your weight and all this other stuff. You look fantastic.
Sorry. Anyways, depends how big the league is, Josh.
No, I wouldn't consider Christian McCaffrey in the first. But
I mean, if you're in a league that's like 14 teams, yes, you get to the point you're going to have to. You can almost get him in the third round, but I think if you love Christian McCaffrey, you're really high on him. I don't think if you go in the second round, I'm cool with it because that workload is there. I think his ATB I think he's going to keep going. After this week, I think his ATB is going through the roof right now. He's probably increasing. It's going up. Anyways, let's talk about the Bucks. Okay, right? So I want to talk about the Bucks. Chris Godwin. Chris freaking Godwin.
I think we need to get tissue for you.
I know, right?
Trying to find a tissue around here somewhere.
Right?
I don't got a tissue. I don't cry, so there's no need for me to have tissues.
Yeah. Hey, man, every Disney movie is sad, man. I'm telling you watch a Disney movie and you not cry, you have no heart.
Oh, man, I was teared up. I watched Goodbye Christopher Robin. I was tearing up at the end of that one.
Yeah, you actually watched that movie, okay.
Yeah, did you watch it?
No, I'm not going to watch it.
Do you know what it's about?
It's about Winnie the Pooh.
No, it's not about Winnie the Pooh. It's about the writer and his son, Christopher Robin, and he kind of stole his childhood writing these books and making them...
About Winnie the Pooh.
About Winnie the Pooh, yes, kind of. But it's more so about the relationship between the writer, the father, and the son, Christopher Robin, and
about Winnie the Pooh.
Process. Whatever, dude. Did you watch Winnie the Pooh growing up?
I have a tigger animal.
Okay, and you still have it?
Probably not.
Okay.
Maybe.
I was about
I don't know.
Dude, he's sentimental like that. So, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he still has, like, his firstborn baby blanket that he sleeps and cuddles with every night. Wouldn't doubt it.
It was Toy Story blanket. Thank you very much.
What'd I say?
Oh, yeah. I'm too busy watching The Meg. I'm going to watch The Meg. Anyways.
Did you watch The Meg?
No.
I have no interest in The Meg.
I'm going to watch The Meg, though.
That was like a dumb movie.
And apparently, I got to watch Crazy Rich Asians, too.
What?
I gotta watch Crazy Rich Asians. That's what Kayla wants to watch. But anyways, let's talk about Chris Godwin. First of all, you were right about Peyton Barber. I said that last week, okay?
Peyton Barber looks so good, too.
Really good.
I'm excited. I think if you get him so late in your draft. I got him like
I bet you that trade that my dad made, but he's probably liking it a lot now. I like it a lot now. But
if you get any trade offers for Peyton Barber, hold on to him.
But I just want to say, finally, Ronald Jones caught a ball.
Yeah,
caught a ball.
37-yard, over the shoulder, down the field.
And he beat his defender, too. It was nice. But obviously, if Peyton Barber goes down, obviously with the news of Terrence West possibly being signed, there is something to keep an eye on.
And I think Quiz Rogers will get worked in, too.
Oh, he's definitely going to be the complement pass-catching back. But if anything would happen to Peyton Barber, I think Ronald Jones would have it. One thing I do want to note, too, is... Jamal Charles, when he first came out, had the same. It took him about a year to really. So not completely
not completely dead, not completely out. But you recognize this will be a slower process than we thought.
Yeah, a slower process for sure. But let's see what he does in just a year under the belt. Obviously, as I said before, hold on your rookies for 2 years. Most dynasty leagues have taxi squad for the first year players and second year players. Use that taxi squad spot for him. But right now, Scott's right. I'm wrong. So good for you. But let's talk about Chris Godwin.
Oh, yeah. My guy, Chris Godwin. I drafted him. He's one of the few rookies that I draft and hold on to because typically that don't happen. But, yeah, Chris Godwin, I loved him coming out last year in 2017. He's got the metrics, got the size. I think he runs crisp routes. Big fan of Chris Godwin. We saw what he could do week 17 last year where he went 7 for 100-something a touchdown against the Saints when the Buccaneers beat him. And Saints needed that game because they were still trying to get a higher seed in the playoffs, so they played to win that game. But Chris Godwin, I'm a huge fan. However, let's slow the roll on him. I know Twitter's kind of taking off on Chris Godwin right now. We got to slow the roll because let's recognize there's not a whole lot of targets there for Chris Godwin to get. The talent's there, but I don't believe the situation's 100% there. Deshaun Jackson's still there. He's still going to get targets. He's still going, to get, his looks. And then they like to throw. They got 2 tight ends, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard. They both get quite a bit of work. And Mike Evans is going to be the target hog on the offense. Plus, the running backs, I think they're going to be worked in as well. So if Chris Godwin can see 100 targets this year, that would be amazing. I'm expecting closer to 70. So
let me ask you a question. Obviously, I watched a little bit of the Bucs game, but you maybe know this. Was he more favorable with Fitzpatrick as quarterback, or was he more favorable with Winston as quarterback? Winston, you think
100% Winston. Fitzpatrick, he was looking more towards Evans. But also, in this game particularly, by the time Winston came in, Evans was out. Evans had been playing with Winston all preseason, week 1, week 2. He took that shot that we talked about earlier in the back. They pulled him out. And then Chris Godwin was effectively the wide receiver 1 with Winston in the game. So if Evans were to get injured, Godwin, huge increase. It's almost like the handcuff to Mike Evans. I know we talked about handcuffs before. Receivers, it's very rare instances where you could have a receiver handcuff. I believe Godwin could be a receiver handcuff to Mike Evans. And if Evans were to go down, Godwin's in for a huge workload. Right. And he's a talent. He's a player I really like. And I think he's got that connection with Winston. Last week, he caught 2 touchdowns from Winston. One of them was called back. The second one was he threw it up and just came down with Godwin. Then he caught another touchdown this week with Winston. There is a connection there with Winston, I believe. So Godwin, if there is an injury, even Deshaun Jackson injury, Godwin, he's 1 injury away from getting a huge workload, a big increase in value in this offense. So he's a player to monitor, maybe grab really late in the drafts. I'm a big fan of Godwin, but at the moment, I don't believe the targets and workload is there for him.
I just realized you need to change that mini helmet out, Jacksonville Jaguars man, with the correct logo.
Well, this one needs to be corrected. This one needs to be corrected. This one needs to be corrected.
By the way,
this one needs to be corrected. This one needs to be corrected.
I love the new Browns helmet. Kudos to you, Browns. Take the disgusting
that one needs
stripe.
To be corrected.
The disgusting white stripe is finally gone.
If you're not watching and you're just listening to this on iTunes or Podbean, I'm sorry, that was a very bad segment for you, but the teams were the Jaguars, the Browns, the Buccaneers, Panthers, Lions, Titans. All got to be switched out.
By the way, we're also on TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play. So
all the audio segments.
You should definitely subscribe to us too if you haven't done that. Show us some love. But anyways, anything else? Let's talk about
Kendrick West got cut by the Chiefs, which is funny because last week after week 2, I was talking to the fancy ogre Joshua Willer, my brother, and I said, I don't think Kendrick West is going to make this team because we both got trade offers for a 4th round pick. The guy was getting rid of him anyways. I texted my brother. I was like, I don't think Kendrick West is going to make this team. I think Damian Williams has overtaken his position on the depth chart, and Spencer Ware, when he comes back, will be ahead of him. So I thought Kendrick West was probably going to get cut. It happened. Kendrick West gets cut from the Kansas City Chiefs. The New York Jets claimed him on waivers, so he is now a New York Jet. Irrelevant for fantasy. That's a name. Charizard West, Kendrick West. He had a flash season 2 years ago. It's in. It's out. Move on. We are no longer ever going to mention Kendrick West on this show ever again, unless 4 running back gets injured for the Jets this year.
Well, before we go to the next time, I just want to talk about the Titans too. I think this is relevant to anyone that's considering the backfield of the Titans. So there was a report out by the head coaching that Dion Lewis' usage could vary depending on opponent. So take that out, take it from a grain of salt. Does that mean, to teams that don't have good pass coverage, he gets more targets? But he had 11 touches to Derrick Henry's 8 touches, but Derrick Henry's 8 touches come from the first two drives, and then he stopped playing, and it was more Dion Lewis. obviously, to me, Derrick Henry is the running back to like really own on the Titans. But I have both. But Dion Lewis, there's going to be weeks where he gets a lot of catches.
Right.
But
I think they're both viable.
But just from that comment that they plan on using him depending on the opponent. I'm not saying like smash the brakes, but maybe just pump the brakes a little bit if you're considering drafting him over Derrick Henry. Obviously, if you have Derrick Henry and you can get Dion Lewis later in the draft, then that's great because I think if anything would have happened to Derrick Henry, perfect.
Right.
Goes up the roof for Dion Lewis.
But I think Derrick Henry is probably more of like a running back 2, mid running back 2, late running back 2, and Dion Lewis is more of the flex consideration. We'll play him in flex matchups, good matchups.
And I know we mentioned this before, but I also want to give a props to whoever designed the Titans unis because those bad boys are great. I mean, those blue pants with like that white top and that nice helmet. This guy was bashing it months ago, but those unis now, so good. I love those unis. What do you think, Scott?
Keep going.
You're about to blow your nose, aren't you? Okay.
Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I think that's the first news I had on the podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be right on the... I just saw nothing but debris. I saw debris.
Hey, I did it over this week.
But I still the light got I saw the light and the debris on it. But anyways, the unis for the Titans are good. I love the unis. Keep it up. Let's go back to the
one thing I did want to mention with the Titans. I'm a huge Corey Davis fan. He's been one of my favorite players since he's coming out of Western Michigan. I really like him, and I did order a right there.
Oh, nice.
I did order a Corey Davis new powder blue or whatever they call that blue Titan jersey. I was just showing Matt it on the computer. But I don't think Mariota knows really how to throw to that X receiver position because he was open many, many times in the preseason games, and he just completely missed, threw it 10 feet or 10 yards short of where Corey Davis was. I mean, if he throws that ball accurately and gets it to Corey Davis, that's a touchdown. He was wide open. And then again, it was a third down play. He ran a slant wide open over the middle of the field, but he throws it to the short receiver, Taywan Taylor. So it seems like he favors favor Taywan Taylor more than he favors throwing to Corey Davis. So I'm concerned, especially where Corey Davis is going in drafts. I mean, he's going around where Allen Robinson and Josh Gordon go, and from what I'm seeing, Mariota doesn't like throwing it to that position.
Do you think it's because this is really the first time Mariota has a healthy Corey Davis? Because Corey Davis has always been susceptible to the hamstring pull. He hasn't really been fully healthy. Do you think there's still going to be a learning curve possibly in the first couple weeks?
There could be a learning curve. There could be something to it. Maybe it's the offense scheme that they're running. Because even if we look back to last year with the Rams, they really didn't throw it to the number one, Sammy Watkins, a whole lot. So I have some questions that I'm just not seeing what I thought I would see. Because I really thought Corey Davis was an elite athlete. I mean, top 5 pick, usually the guys you just want to feature and get the ball to, especially because, what else do they have at receiver in that offense? They got Taywan Taylor, a mid to late round pick. They got Rashard Matthews, who's not playing right now. He's not healthy. Delaney Walker's out. So why isn't Corey Davis getting all the targets? Maybe they're saving him for the regular season. They don't want to show what Corey Davis can do, what they can scheme with Corey Davis. Maybe. But typically with rookies like this, you want to get reps too, and for some reason, I'm not seeing a connection between Mariota and Corey Davis, and it's a concern for me as a Corey Davis fan. And given his draft position, I just feel like it's too high for what that offense has been looking like in the preseason for Corey Davis. So there's a concern there. I probably stay away from Corey Davis unless I can get him cheaper than what he's currently going for.
All right. So before we go into, we're going to do a mock draft here, just a quick mock draft. But before we do that, before Scott sets it up, there's a couple teams I want to mention. So let's talk about the Green Bay Packers, right? So Ty Montgomery got injured. They say it's not serious. Boost on Jamal Williams. And Aaron Jones looked pretty decent. Aaron Jones comes back. We'll see what happens in this first 2 weeks. But Jamal Williams looks like all systems go for the workhorse type role, even though it's going to be more passing in that passing offense. Let's also talk about the Broncos. Royce Freeman, I'm telling you right now, is going to be a stud. The guy looks great. He's running so well. Case Keenum actually played really well too. So that offense is finally kind of like turning around. Emmanuel Sanders had a great showing at like 70 yards for like 9 touches. Something like that.
Yeah, he's getting targeted like insane amount. He looks like he's going to be the beneficiary from Case Keenum, which is I predicted that Emmanuel Sanders would get more targets and be a better fit with Case Keenum than Demaryius Thomas. The reason I said that is because we go back and look at the Minnesota Vikings. Diggs, Thielen are more similar to Emmanuel Sanders than a guy like Demaryius Thomas, who's more similar to like a Dez Bryant. So that's kind of what I was predicting going into this. So I believe that Emmanuel Sanders, he's in for a big season. As long as he can stay healthy, he's going to get the targets as long as Case Keenum is quarterback. Another thing to point out, Paxton Lynch, he's gone. I've said it before, he's gone. He actually just put his house on the market to sell his house, Paxton Lynch did. So reading between the tea leaves. And also, Deshaun Hamilton jersey, guys. Just wanted to point that out. Deshaun Hamilton.
It's an Osweiler jersey. Hey, Scott, before we go into that, I wanted to say something and I totally forgot about it. Crap. Okay, well, anyways, go back to it. Tell them about what we're doing. Tell them about the scoring settings, how many positions are there going to be there, and we're just going to be Scott and I are going to be one person. I think we're all just going to...
Yeah, we're just going to do it together. We'll talk it through each pick round by round.
This will be really quick. It's the website we like to use for mock drafts. We actually have it drafted today at 6 p.m. I will definitely upload pictures and etc. Talk about the picks on our Facebook page as well. So keep that in mind. But Scott, why don't you open the doors and talk to them?
Okay, so this is on Fantasy Pros website. You can go there. It's called the Draft Simulator. Basically, it takes the composite rankings between all the experts, and it gives you the expert type fantasy draft. So what I did is I set it up for PPR ranking, or PPR, scoring. You can change the positions, so I did 2 receivers, 2 running backs, tight end, flex, quarterback, kicker, defense. Then it'll go through and do, I think, 15 or 16 rounds, and it computer generates. So once you pick a player, you're back up on the clock instantly to pick again. This is just a quick process to just try different things out. If you just want to see, okay, if you're picking in the middle of the round, and like what we're doing, we're picking from the 6th spot. So we're picking in the middle of the round, we're going to decide between, like Kamara, Barkley, Hopkins, Odell, and then you can just try different things out, where you could take the receiver first and see what running backs you can get later, or you could take the running backs now and see what receivers you can get later, and just play with it, do a couple of them, doing different things before you go into your draft. That way you have kind of a feel for how to build your team. And with that, let's go into it. Picking with the 6th spot, the first 5 picks off the board. They went Gurley, Lev Bell, David Johnson, Ezekiel Elliott, Antonio Brown. Now we're on the clock. ADP suggests Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Hopkins, Odell Beckham. Matt, I don't know how you like to build your team. If you like to go running back first receiver, I prefer to go running back if I can. Picking in the 6th spot, you're hoping for one of those 5 to fall.
Is this the, is this a 10 team or 12 team?
It's 10 team.
10 team, okay. Well, I said this before numerous times. I'm actually shocked Antonio Brown is up in the top 4. I thought he'll be running back. I've always said you don't absolutely need a running back in the first round, but if this was more like the 8th, 9th pick, I'll totally go wide receiver, but I'm not against going running back, so I'll agree with running back. So I'll totally go for it. I'll probably go Kamara. Probably go either Barkley, one of those things. But obviously Kamara is more appealing to me because he is proven. And he has those first 4 weeks are very, very, very nice to me with marking him out. So I'll agree. I'll go Alvin Kamara. But I'll let you. How about you do the first round?
We'll talk it through because I agree. Kamara, after Kamara, I probably go Hopkins or Odell. So if I'm picking 7 and Kamara goes 6. And then I'm going Hopkins or Odell. It's nothing against Saquon. I love Saquon. It's just we haven't seen he's
still a rookie.
He's gonna get workload. He's gonna get it. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's more like we want to see.
It's more of a comfortability factor because you don't win your league at the draft, but you can lose it at the draft. So if you take Saquon and he isn't the guy that we expect him to be or whatever, so there's just a safety factor that I'm trying to go for with my first couple picks, with also getting the upside. Kamara has the upside. Odell has the upside. Hopkins has the upside. Barkley does too, but Barkley also has the most risk associated with him. So with that, I agree with you. I'm going to take Alvin Kamara. We'll go Kamara round 1, and we'll start our team off going running back. Let's see how it falls to us in the second round. So Saquon went 7, Fournette 8, Hunt 9, Julio 10, Hopkins
2.1. Wow.
2.1, Odell 2.2, Gordon 2.3, and then Dalvin Cook went. So now we're back on the board, and this is an easy decision for me, but we'll talk it through. We have Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, Devonta Freeman, or Jordan Howard, or kind of the picks here, depending if we want to go receiver, running back. Aaron Rodgers still top quarterback. Gronk, Kelsey, top tight ends on the board.
At this point, as I think it's pretty dead obvious, we're going to go receiver. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, we started a team with running back. We have good receiver value.
To me, there's a lot of running backs you can get in the third, possibly fourth round that a lot of people overlook. "Quote unquote," Lamar Miller is going to be the bell cow for the Houston Texans. You could probably get him in the third or fourth round.
You can get him almost in the fifth or sixth round. Yeah, he falls.
A lot. Peyton Barber, too. So, obviously, to me, receiver. Obviously, you can go anyone you want. Just plays your favorite. But in terms of this mock, I'm going to choose Michael Thomas.
Yeah. Now, do you have any questions or any reserves, any concerns? Because we took Alvin Kamara as a New Orleans Saint. So Michael Thomas in the second round also as a New Orleans Saint. Is that concerning? Would you go a different
Normally
direction?
it would, but not with Drew Brees as a quarterback.
Okay.
Not with Drew Brees.
Yeah.
If it was any other team, yes, I would. I said this to my dad. I said this to numerous people. Stay away from having players on the same team unless it's like a quarterback, receiver, etc. like that.
Unless it's on offense you can trust.
Yeah, Drew Brees is going to throw the ball a lot. He's going to throw the ball to Michael Thomas. And Kamara's going to catch the ball too. So I wouldn't even be against. I know this is not not in the norm, but if you can get Drew Brees in the 8th round and have Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and get a bunch of those
absolutely. I would 100% do that.
Stacking, baby.
With that offense?
Yeah, go for it. But normally, normally it's not a big deal in terms of the Drew Brees. I think it's fine. So go Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that one. Keenan Allen, slightly consideration. If Michael Thomas were off the board, say we had one.
I love Keenan Allen. I love him. I always love Keenan Allen.
Okay, this is working out fantastically. So after we take Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen comes off the board, Devontae Adams comes off, Adam Thielen, Christian McCaffrey, 2.9, we talked about that, so late second. Devonta Freeman, 210, going into the third round, AJ Green, Joe Mixon, Gronk, Jordan Howard, and finally Aaron Rodgers comes off the board.
Wow, Aaron Rodgers is in the third round. That's, to me, is insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Hey, if somebody's going to take him in the third round, let them, because that just brings the running backs, receivers down for you.
So just to give the available players available right now, okay, we got Mike Evans, we have Travis Kelce, Jerick McKinnon, LaShawn McCoy still up there.
Yeah.
But this is working out great for us, I think. The first three picks, we got stud running back, right?
Yeah.
Getting a stud receiver. And if I am reading Scott's mind, we're getting another stud wide receiver too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think this is insane. Mike Evans, this is almost the early second to late first in my mind. So we have him in the third round.
We have 3 players. Let's put in this perspective. We have 3 players that are probably consensus top 20 fantasy players.
Yeah. Plus, Travis Kelce's on the board too. So we could go Travis Kelce and also get the stud at tight end.
The reason why I don't want to do Travis Kelce because tight end, you can get a lot of great tight ends.
Yeah, we can get Olsen later. We can get Delaney Walker later. Ertz later, like
George Kittle's out there.
A bunch of players that we could get later. We could even stream the position and be okay. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you, Mike Evans, easy pick. We got 3 studs to start our team. I love the receivers that we got, even going running back in the first. Mm-hmm. Really just makes me feel good about going running back in the first round. All right, so after Mike Evans, we had LaShawn McCoy go, Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, Jerick McKinnon. That ends the third round. And then the fourth round, Alex Collins, Travis Kelce, who I would have loved to have seen fall to us. T.Y. Hilton, 4-3, another player would have been interesting there. And then, holy cow, Tom Brady in the fourth round.
All right.
I said, if you're going to let people are going to be doing that, let them do that.
No, Scott and I may differ on this part.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a strong debate.
This could be our fantasy. Okay, but, all right, at this point, we're in the fourth round, right?
Yep, we're in the fourth round.
So we went running back, wide receiver. To me, we absolutely need to get a running back, okay? At this point, as I said before, I have no problem taking Lamar Miller in the fourth or fifth round. So I will go running back. I don't know what Scott would do. I would go Lamar Miller because I think Lamar Miller will be the bell cow there. He will get a lot of work. especially with Dante Foreman out for at least 6 weeks. He's on the IR spot. So I will go Lamar Miller. Scott, I want you to see tell the viewers what you think.
I would not be going Lamar Miller because I believe we can get him in the 5th or 6th round.
Okay.
So I don't feel like it's necessary to grab him now in, what are we, the 4th?
Yeah.
So with that being said, I mean, Ertz is available at tight end. I'm probably passing out. I don't think I want to go Ertz. But Doug Baldwin, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper are there at wide receiver.
That's true. Doug
We could
Baldwin.
also go later there, too.
Doug Baldwin's a steal in the 4th round, guys. He's a steal in the 4th round.
Right. And then, I mean, Kenyon Drake is there. I really like
I don't like Kenyon Drake. I do not like him at all. I think there's going to be competition there in that running back spot in Miami.
Well, I believe we can go a different direction here. If we want to go Doug Baldwin and grab us the 3rd receiver, and then I think, I'm willing to gamble on this.
Hey, I love myself some Doug Baldwin. Let's do it.
I think we can get, coming back.
Let's see. Let's before we do it. Let's see if Lamar Miller is taken between them. Let's see.
Yeah, so we'll take Doug Baldwin here. He'll go on our flex. I feel like we just got another stud at receiver, and then it's just a matter of one pick. One pick. I really thought he was going to squeeze through. I really thought he went the
Rashad Penny gets picked in the 5th round.
Gosh.
That's insane.
I really thought he'd squeeze through.
It's okay. It's okay. No,
but you know what? This is why you do this exercise because you get to see. You get to practice with it. And
at this point, we absolutely need to get an RB2. Okay, we absolutely need to get an RB2. So what's the best available running backs on the board right now, Scott?
We got Mark Ingram, who's suspended first 4 weeks of the season. You got Royce Freeman, Marshawn Lynch, Deion Lewis, Rex Burkhead, Tevin Coleman, Carlos Hyde, Sony Michel, Kerryon Johnson. Then we start working into them later names. So
at this point,
it's not pretty, it's not sexy,
but just so everyone knows, okay. Yes, our RB2 may take a hit in terms of appealing, but we still have 3 stud receivers that will make up for the fact that we don't have a strong RB2. So in this case,
plus running back is easy to hit on later.
Yes.
Where if they get an injury, you can find them on waiver wires.
There's a lot of running backs that you get late in rounds, quote unquote, like Burkhead. I think he's going to have a workhorse role. He's probably getting drafted a lot early too in a lot of these mock drafts. But at this point, I'm gonna go probably with one of the rookies. I'll probably go with like a Kerryon Johnson, Royce Freeman type player. Just he's gonna get a back at this point that catches the balls because obviously I'm not gonna draft a back that is gonna rush a lot, right? Because at this point all those rushing backs are gone. So I'm gonna get a running back that catches some balls. So I'll probably go Kerryon Johnson, Royce Freeman type player. I think Mark Ingram's going to fall a lot because a lot of people are scared of the fact that he's going to go in the 4th round. So, Scott, he's probably going to get, in this mock, he's probably going to get drafted. But
yeah. I think Mark Ingram's the best player on the board, but another problem with that, we started our team off with Kamara and Michael Thomas.
Yes.
So, with that being said, plus you factor in the suspension, I'm probably going to go away from Mark Ingram, although I do recognize it's probably the best.
And this mock, Chris Carson is right now available too. And Chris Carson looks good, I said before, but we also got Doug Baldwin.
I think we can get Barber and Carson later in the draft. I think Royce Freeman commands high upside right now. He's a big back. He's going to be almost a goal line back exclusively for the Denver Broncos. And they have thrown it to him in the preseason. He has a lot of success catching the ball at Oregon. So I do think there's upside there with Royce Freeman. So if we're going to stick with running back and go that direction, Greg Olsen, Jimmy Graham are still available.
Nope, I think we're good on tight end. Tight ends, we can get a good tight end deep.
So we're going to go Royce Freeman. This is an upside pick, but we'll go Royce Freeman with an eye on Peyton Barber, Chris Carson later to solidify the running back position for us.
Who got picked?
Demarius Thomas went, Larry Fitzgerald, Josh Gordon, Sony Michel. At this point, any receiver going is a good thing because we feel very comfortable at receiver. That and rounds up the 5th round. The 6th round, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, Jimmy Graham, Golden Tate come off the board. So now we're here in the 6th round.
So just for everyone, look at all these quarterbacks that went before this man right here. I just want to point this out. So you got Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yep.
Tom Brady.
Yep.
Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson. Before Drew Brees. And Drew Brees, we're in the 6th round right now.
Yeah, we're in the 6th round. Drew Brees is there. Carson Wentz is available.
And I said before,
Kirk Cousins, Luck, Stafford.
You got Michael Thomas, right?
Yep.
Alvin Kamara. Totally gets me some Drew Brees. I'm not messing up some Drew Brees in the 6th round. I'm going Drew Brees. Stacking up right there. Stacking up.
You want to go Drew Brees this early?
I'll go Drew Brees.
At this point, I mean, because Nah, I love Drew Brees. I think he's great. But then you also look at the available quarterbacks. I mean, Kirk Cousins is there, Carson Wentz is there, Luck, Stafford, Roethlisberger.
Yes, I told myself last week that don't reach for a quarterback unless but if Drew Brees falls to you in the 6th, 7th round, take yourself Drew Brees. Take yourself Drew Brees. Drafting Drew Brees.
All right, we're gonna go Drew Brees here. Now we just stacked ourselves up with the Saints offense. That's a great. If you're gonna stack yourself on offense, Saints is 1 or 2 that you want to do that with. So Drew Brees. We got our quarterback position filled. Like you, I typically try to wait, but I do think there's a value there. So now we're coming through. We're in the 7th round. We got Brandon Cooks come off the board. Evan Ingram. Burkhead's gone. Allen Robinson. That's what Mark Ingram comes here at 6'10". Then you got Deion Lewis, Carson Wentz, Stafford, Kirk Cousins, and then Kerryon Johnson at 7'5". So we're back on the clock again.
So at this point. I think a lot of people making the mistake of, okay, I haven't filled out my starting roster right? So I'm trying to go for a position and reach for it. But in my opinion, let's go for the best available player. So best available player right now, Scott, is
well at tight end. I mean, Greg Olson's there. I think that's a great tight end if we're able to solidify that position. And then you look at running back. We have Marshawn Lynch, Tevin Coleman, Carlos Hyde, but also our guys that we're keying in on, Peyton Barber. Chris Carson, they are still available. So the best available player, according to this, is Marvin Jones. That's a great pick at receiver. It's just a matter of if we want to get a 4th receiver, or we could take a Greg Olsen to fill out our tight end position.
Let me ask you a question before I give you my opinion.
Okay.
Where's the tight end depth board is right now after Greg Olsen?
I'm pretty sure Delaney Walker's there. Yeah, so it goes Olsen, Delaney Walker, Kyle Rudolph, Trey Burton, Jordan Reed.
Oh, I love Kyle Rudolph too. Okay.
Yeah, I like Kyle Rudolph.
I won't go.
I think we can fade tight end another.
I won't go Greg Olsen. I will go to me the best available player. I will probably go just because Royce Freeman's there. I want a running back, right? I want a running back just to. Okay, if Royce Freeman isn't doing what I think he does, let's get myself a running back. I can start in plays with him. That being said. As it kills me to say this, let's go Peyton Barber. I want to go Peyton Barber.
Peyton Barber already?
Yeah, I think Peyton Barber. You were wrong last time.
I still think that we could get him closer to round 10 than round 7.
Okay.
To me, if I'm going running back, I want Tevin Coleman.
Let's go Tevin Coleman then.
Because Tevin Coleman, he produced running back 1 season.
We need a better.
And if Freeman goes down, I mean, we're an every week stud.
We need running back depth. So give me a running back, okay?
All right. So I'm going to take Tevin Coleman here. I'm going to put the executive foot down here and say we're going Tevin Coleman with the eye on Peyton Barber in the next round or 2. So Tevin Coleman goes. You got Marshawn, Luck, Hyde, Marvin Jones.
Jacksonville defense in the 8th round. That's insane.
Let them do that all day long. Jacksonville comes off. Alshon Jeffrey, Michael Crabtree. So now we're back on the clock. Peyton Barber is still there. I still, however, think that you could.
Okay. When you say 10th round, this is good. That's why we're doing this. I
still think we could wait on Peyton Barber.
I think we definitely need to adjust the tight end position. So let's see what the best available tight ends are.
I believe
Greg Olsen's still there.
Yep, Greg Olsen's still on the board. Walker, Rudolph, Trey Burton. Olsen, I think, is a massive value here.
Let's go Greg Olsen. For sure, Greg Olsen.
Wide receivers, Corey Davis, Sammy Watkins, Emmanuel Sanders. I think even Emmanuel Sanders, who I loved this year, I think we could even wait there. So to get Greg Olsen, I agree with you. I mean, he really is almost like the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 on the Panthers offense. So if we can add Greg Olsen, I mean, we have an elite tight end, an elite running back. I mean, we're elite. We have elite players at every position going here with Greg Olsen. And that's something that gets overlooked a little bit. So Greg Olsen, we nailed down our tight end there.
We pretty much have our starting rotation.
Ronald Jones goes in the 8th round. Ain't that insane? That's insane to me. Especially in your redraft, let that happen. So Devin Funchess at 8'7", Robert Woods, Marquise Goodwin, Corey Davis now at 8'10". That's pretty late for where I've been seeing him go. Will Fuller, Julian Edelman, Jamison Crowder, Sammy Watkins, and then Jamal Williams at 9'5".
We're in a really good predicament right now because you got Peyton Barber still there. You got Chris Carson still there.
Emmanuel Sanders is still there.
So, I mean, to me, get more receivers, get more running backs. Really have no quarrels against either. I'd rather go running back and just to build up my running back depth just a little bit more.
Yep.
I say Chris Carson or Peyton Barber at this point, one of these positions, because, the person that drafted Ronald Jones was probably going to try to draft Peyton Barber too as well. Just have that a handcuff, even though Jones is a handcuff to Barber. So I'd rather go Peyton Barber over Chris Carson. Scott, what do you think?
You know, I'm just looking through here. So Crowell's there, Carson's there, Thompson's there, Peyton Barber, Duke Johnson. After Peyton Barber, that's where the cutoffs to me. But how many names did we give up? About 5 there, 5 or 6.
Yeah, but as I said, I want to hold off in redraft leagues. I'm holding off on Chris Thompson late in draft.
You feel like it'll be dropped and you can pick him up for free.
Yeah, he's going to be at least gone for half the season. Probably.
I go to receiver. I got Emmanuel Sanders, Robbie Anderson, Cooper Kupp, Pierre Garçon. I feel like there's a tier break that we would be ahead of.
Pierre Garçon is going to fall probably to the 10th, 11th round. Even though I'm like, I have him. I like Pierre Garçon. He looked really good yesterday.
Okay, well, I think I would probably lean Emmanuel Sanders here.
Okay, let's go Emmanuel Sanders.
But Peyton Barber would be my next pick. I will let you decide if you want to go Emmanuel Sanders. We can. But if you really want to go Peyton Barber, Chris Carson, the running back route.
Can I see my roster really quick? Or I got Temple Coleman. Go on Peyton Barber. I think we're good.
Barber?
I think we're good. Right. I think we're good with stacked receivers that, as I said, Pierre Garçon is going to be available later in draft.
All right, so Peyton Barber, 9th round. I mean, that's pretty good value. I think we could probably hold off one more round, but we'll go ahead and grab him here. He's a guy we're both keyed in on. Emmanuel Sanders slid through the 10th round.
Easy pick.
Chris Thompson, Jordy Nelson, Chris Carson goes. He's a guy we've been talking about. Marlon Mack, Robbie Anderson, Isaiah Crowell, Aaron Jones, and then Tariq Cohen round out the in-between.
There's really no commentary in this one. It's a really easy pick. Let's go with Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders to me, especially now with the way this offense is going. Honestly, there's been some reports that Demaryius Thomas could be traded. I don't think that's going to happen. They gave him a $4 million roster bonus. There's a lot of dead money if they were to trade or cut him. Therefore, I think he'll be on the team. But it definitely seems like this offense could function with Emmanuel Sanders as the one, and then you got Cortland Sutton, Deshaun Hamilton working in, without Demaryius Thomas. Wow.
So at this point, in the 11th round, it's saying that the best available pick will be a Kyle Rudolph, but we're not drafting 2 tight ends. Never draft 2 tight ends. We can stream the tight end position. Let's go. So let's get more depth in our more receivers and running back position. So what's available? Best available receiver. Pierre Garçon still available, who I'm very high on. I think he has as the X receiver, even though you got Marquise Goodwin out there.
Pierre Garçon is gone.
He's gone? Okay.
Kenny Stills, Nelson Aguilar, Sterling Shepard. That could be a good pick there. Alan Hearns, Kenny Galladay, Rashard Matthews, DJ Moore. So best available receiver, I feel like it might be Sterling Shepard there. Running back, let's see what we got at running back here. Bilal Powell, Ty Montgomery, Giovanni Bernard, James White. I think James White could be a pretty good back there.
Latavius Murray too.
Latavius Murray, Adrian Peterson is there.
I think Adrian Peterson's going to fall further. Let's go receiver. Let's grab a receiver.
And then you got Kyle. What's your opinion of Kyle Rudolph this year? Because I mean, if you can get elite tight end, even rostering 2 tight ends, even if you get an elite guy who could be flex consideration for you on week to week,
one thing I know,
I think that could be something interesting.
One thing I know of Kirk Cousins, being that I've been his fantasy owner for the last 3 years, he loves his tight end. I know the preseason hasn't been showing it, but I think they also haven't been in the red zone as much. Kyle Rudolph to me, tremendous touchdown upside. So, but in terms of in our draft, I'm not going to draft him. I don't think we should. I think we're good. I think as he said, you can stream tight end if you want to. We have a stud Greg Olsen who, when healthy, is top 3, top 4 fantasy tight end. I think we're more beneficial into drafting another receiver. Building on depth in receiver, because receivers are the position, and running backs are the position that where someone gets injured, it could affect your team. It could, if you don't have good depth, you could lose your league if you don't have good depth. So I think we should go receiver or running back.
Yeah. Plus also Trey Burton's there, David Njoku is there. So I kind of agree. I think Kyle Rudolph is probably the best value on the board. However, there's still enough tight ends behind him where I'm okay going a different position. So if you go wide receiver, which wide receiver would you go? Or running back? What do we say? Giovanni Bernard, Devontae Booker, handcuffed to Royce Freeman, Adrian Peterson.
Where's the receivers? I don't want you to see receivers on the board. Oh, that's not the big board.
That was the running backs. Here's the receivers. You got Kenny Stills, Aguilar, Calvin Benjamin, Sterling Shepard, Alan Hearns.
Mike Williams probably go farther in my opinion.
Tyler Lockett, Chris Godwin's there too.
Well,
I kind of feel like...
how about you make the decision on this one?
I kind of feel like if we go running back, and I think that's probably the direction we should go, I don't think Adrian Peterson's a bad pick. Right here in the 11th round, Adrian Peterson.
I think he's fall down to the 12th or 13th, I think.
I think in this, because of ADP, it's been kind of solidified he will. But I think if we're drafting it like we have a draft tonight, I think this is this is probably about where he'll go, or he'll be gone already.
So when you go with... So you're saying you'd rather choose Adrian Peterson over maybe a receiver like Kenny Stills, or Mike Williams is still there? Because at this point...
I don't love Mike Williams.
Really? What happened?
They're not using him. He's not being played with Phillip Rivers. A lot of picks are going to Tyrell Williams. He's getting a lot of looks. And Keenan Allen and the running backs are there. So
that's a shocker.
I think Mike Williams might be a later season.
That's a shocker because
I think he might be an injury away. And I like Mike Williams. I've been really high on him, but he just hasn't been getting a whole lot of run with the ones.
Well, let's go Adrian Peterson. Let's do it.
Okay, that's the way I like it. I like it to go
over Latavius Murray, even with Dalvin Cook coming off that injury.
Yeah,
Latavius Murray is. I mean, to me, I'd rather go Latavius because Latavius Murray isn't going away. Dalvin Cook owners. This guy is huge. He's fast.
I think Latavius Murray has more upside if Cook were to get injured. But I think all things being equal, week one, Adrian Peterson is going to get more looks and will have more kind of a cachet. I don't really plan on taking Adrian Peterson to hold on to him the whole season.
Yeah, but just
it's more of a, can I flip him for something else that went earlier in the draft? Can I flip him for...
Okay, but basing off week one, do you think Latavius Murray is not like he's going to be the bench? He's going to get 10 to 12 touches a game, I think. Especially because the way
Peterson could get 20.
Okay, fair enough. It's Adrian Peterson.
You feel adamant about Latavius Murray?
I think Latavius Murray. I don't think Dalvin Cook's gonna be the workhorse people think he is. I think Latavius Murray is going to be there. I think he's gonna get 12 to 15 touches a game. He's gonna get a lot of red zone opportunities. That offense is gonna move the ball. I like the Vikings offense better than I like the Redskins offense because the offensive line's a little bit better. The Redskins' defense is better, so you got to think about the fact that defense are going to get turnovers, so they're going to put them in more chances. So, but let's go. You go, Adrian Peterson.
Nope, we're going to take Latavius Murray. You feel strongly about that, and I have.
Does this give us a grade on this, by the way?
Yeah, I'll give us a grade at the end. Mm-hmm. You'll probably get a bad grade. So Aguilar, Kelvin Benjamin, DJ Moore, Ty Montgomery,
and Adrian Peterson is still available.
Trey Burton goes, Giovanni Bernard goes, Kyle Rudolph, Jordan Reed. So a lot of those tight ends that I had an eye on are gone. David Njoku's still there at tight end.
And Adrian Peterson's still available for you, too. See, as I said.
Yep. Kenny Stills, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers, Sterling Shepard.
We already got a quarterback. We don't need that.
David Njoku.
So at this point, go best available player. You want to get another tight end, we can go and get David Njoku if you want.
We'll stay at receiver. Sterling Shepard. I think Sterling Shepard is probably the best
Let's go Sterling Shepard
option there at receiver. Or we could take Adrian Peterson. Between those two is kind of the two that
I'll let you make the decision. I mean, Adrian Peterson will probably fall even further, but as you said, people will draft him.
We got two more bench spots, so I plan on doing receiver, running back with both of them.
Okay. Well, at this point, I think Kenny still has the more likelihood of getting drafted before Adrian Peterson. Obviously, but it's looking at ADP.
You like Kenny Stills better than Sterling Shepard?
No, I like Sterling Shepard better, yeah. I think the better offense.
He's just been a target monster this preseason. I know Odell hasn't been playing, but Shepard's
You just got to think with the Giants' offense in general.
All right, we're going to go Sterling Shepard.
It's going to be better.
Jack Doyle, Jimmy Graham, Kenny Stills is gone, Big Ben, David Njoku, Booker, James White, Corey Clement, Deonta Foreman, LA Rams defense, and Adrian Peterson squeezed through. So now this is our last bench spot before we go kicker defense. We have Kittle as a tight end 2, Phillip Rivers as a quarterback 2, or we could just stream the 2 if through bye weeks. Bilal Powell's there, Alan Hearns at receiver, Adrian Peterson.
At this point, get Adrian Peterson. You can get Adrian Peterson. You can get a starting running back in what round are we in? The 13th round.
Yep.
Man, get it.
I think Adrian Peterson has enough name cachet that when you're drafting in your own personal drafts, he'll probably go. But anyways, we're on the clock. Kicker defense. We got Denver Broncos, Houston Texans, Baltimore Ravens. Los Angeles Chargers defense was really strong with their pass rush.
And Derwin James, guys. Derwin James.
Baltimore Ravens is there too.
Really good. I'll go Chargers.
You'll go Chargers?
Go Chargers.
I don't know if that's because I'm a Broncos fan, but I was thinking Broncos. But we'll go Chargers. I don't think there's really a wrong choice there. Ultimately, I streamed the position anyways. And then obviously, last pick of the draft, we're going to go kicker. I really don't.
Well, I mean, also, as I said before, you can always pick up a kicker in the free agency too if you wanted to try to draft another position for B-.
You suck. You got a B-.
What's the please?
No, the draft grade really doesn't matter. It's just you get your draft grade based on how you draft within your ADP.
Yeah.
So if you just pick their top player at ADP every time,
look at our starting roster. We got Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara. Okay, Royce Freeman, maybe change with Peyton Barber.
Yeah, we'll probably play Peyton Barber week 1. But I mean, look at our running backs. Like running back 2 is our weakest position. So you got the upside of Royce Freeman. We got Tevin Coleman, massive upside if Devonta Freeman were to go down, who is battling a minor knee injury right now. Then we got Peyton Barber, Latavius Murray, huge upside if Cook goes down. And then Adrian Peterson, who ultimately I want him to flip, not necessarily to hold on to our roster, but he's going to get work, especially early in the season. But anyways, that's where we're at. We're running back 2. We kind of just see who wins that out.
I definitely think that's a league-winning roster.
And then you got Michael Thomas and Mike Evans are our starting receivers. Greg Olsen, our starting tight end. And then Doug Baldwin in our flex. This is a championship contending team.
A great team. And that was really fun. I'm actually shocked by how I know this is just based off computers and they base off mock, but I can kind of I want to see how, when we draft tonight, I want to see how similar this is in terms of where players go and everything. I'm blown away by how we got certain players that slipped through and how certain players drafted way early. Well, that was fun. That was really fun. Anyways, we got to wrap it up, guys. So 11 more days. Football season is back. Next week's episode is the last episode before the regular season. And the regular season to come, I'm going to do fantasy standings. We're going to do our pick'ems. And Scott, we have prop bets going on and everything like that. We got 2 games tonight, guys. We got the Bills and Bengals. And
Joe Mixon versus LaShawn McCoy.
And then we got Cowboys play. I forgot what they play against.
This is your team.
Yeah. Cowboys play a team tonight, guys.
Cardinals.
Okay.
David Johnson, Zeke Elliott.
Yep. So, a lot of good football to watch today. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Podbean. Follow us on any of your podcast we try to use, whether it's Google Play, whatever. We appreciate the support. It's been fun for us this off season, and we're so excited that football season's starting. You have no idea.
Draft season is upon us.
We're having a draft today. We'll let you know. What we're going to do, we're going to take a picture of yours roster, take a picture of my draft, your draft. Let the viewers decide who's the better
just
draft.
Put it up there on a Twitter poll and have everybody vote on it.
Yeah, it'll probably be you, but we'll see. I mean, I've been working on my drafting. I think I've been improving dramatically over the years. So that being said, guys, appreciate the love and support. See you guys next week. See ya.
Hey, rip out a piece of paper, throw it.
No, I'm not ripping it on my. Stop with the notebook, Scott. It's my favorite notebook. Stop.